There is a secret Google Sheet feature that less than 1% of users know about. It can make any Google Sheet 100 times more powerful, and it's completely free to use. Most people think Google Sheets are just for calculations and storing data. But did you know a Google Sheet could do this? I paste a YouTube link into this sheet, and in seconds it gets the video title, the thumbnail, the transcript, the description, and more relevant data. Then with just one click, it generates a detailed AI-powered summary of the video. Instead of spending hours watching several videos, I can get the key details in seconds. In this video, I'll show you step by step how I built this powerful Google Sheet from scratch. No coding skills required. You can get access to the exact Google Sheet we're building already done for you by clicking the link in the description below this video. So by the end of this video, you will have the skill to build your own highly powerful Google Sheets that saves you many hours each month, or even to sell them like I do. Now let's start the exciting part, building this Google Sheet from scratch. The only thing we need is Google Sheet. Then we need ChatGPT to provide us with some custom code to make our Google Sheet perform custom action that are not built in its standard functionality. So we're going to create a new blank spreadsheet. And then we need what's called an automation software. Now this is also free to use on the free plan, which is more than enough. And we're going to combine this with our Google Sheet, and then it will perform the tasks and get the information from the YouTube videos and summarize them. And I will walk you through this every step as if I were a beginner starting from scratch. So I haven't scripted this video. We are building it as I go along here, live, so to speak, with you together. So we have a new Google Sheet. We're going to name it YouTube Summarizer. The next step that we need is we need to name our columns. So here goes the video URL. Then we want to have the video title that should be inserted here. Then here comes the thumbnail URL that needs to be inserted here. And there we want the thumbnail to be displayed. Thumbnail display. Next we want the views, the view count of the video. Then we want the subscriber count of the video. Then we want to have the channel name. What else do we want? Maybe we want the publishing date, so we know how old the video is. And then we want to have a checkbox that we click, and then it will create the summary of the transcript. So here will display the summary. So, and with that, let me correct this mistake here. We have our Google Sheet already outlined. So I want to put a YouTube video link here, as you've seen, and then it should give me all the information here. So let's grab a video that we can use an example, for example, this one. And when I put it in here, it should insert all the information from the video. Now we're going to step by step build out that functionality. Now, obviously, it's not part of the Google Sheet, so a Google Sheet in itself can do this. So we need to customize our sheet, and we need to connect it to certain services, again, which are for free to use, which I will show you. And to customize the Google Sheet functions to connect it to the information to YouTube from these videos, we use what's called app scripts. This is like a back-end feature of Google Sheets where you can customize the functions of Google Sheet to make it do nearly whatever you want. And this is where using Google Sheets and building Google Sheets becomes 100 times more powerful than using just formulas. So we're gonna also name this app script. Now, even though I need to write code here or need to put in code, I'm not going to write any of this code myself because, again, I'm a beginner. I'm in your shoes. I've never done this before. The only thing I know how to use is ChatGPT, and it should walk me through every single step. Sure, there are a few tips that I will share with you during a few steps that I had to figure out spending hours. But these are shortcuts. that you can benefit from my experience to do things faster as we create this code. So what the first thing I want is I need to process this video. So this video URL. So just from this video ID, which is this part here, there are certain tools that can give me all this information about the video. So, and to connect it to these tools, I need another software that is free to use. So it has a free plan and it's called make.com. So I'm just going to sign in with my account. If you don't have an account, you can get started for free. And I'm even going to log in to the free account I have. So I can prove to you we are only using free tools. So this is how Make platform looks after it has loaded. You see here, this is the platform, and all we need to know first is we need to click on create a new scenario. And so how do we get this video ID to our backend automation scenario? So we need to use a webhook. So webhook, basically like a hook, it catches something, and in this case it catches information. So I can send information from the Google Sheet to this webhook, and then we can process it and connect it to other tools that will get me all the other information that I need from the video. So let's create a webhook. Let's just click on add. I'll just give it a name, YouTube Summarizer. And now you see this webhook is now listening, so it's waiting for data. And now to send it data, I need this part. So I need to use ChatGPT now to give me some part of code or a program that sends this information from the YouTube URL that I enter here to my webhook to catch that, so I can process this information further. So I will go to ChatGPT and tell it, I will not type it out. I will use this plugin or this Google Chrome extension called Talk to Mia, which you can download from the Chrome App Store, from the Chrome Store. And it allows me to talk my prompts. You see, as here, I can talk my prompts instead of writing, which is much faster, especially when you're building out this project and describing what you do. So delete this again, and then I will continue. So now I am building a Google Sheet, and I need you to create me an app script code for the following functionality. I put a video URL from YouTube into sheet 1. That's the name of the sheet. No space between sheet and 1. And the first row is header. So the URL is added, for example, in column in A, in row 2 or whatever row in that column. And then I want you to automatically get the video ID from this URL and send it to a webhook. Now I need you to not use the onEdit function. Now it's already processing the first batch of information. Now I want to specify a few things. First, I want to give it the webhook, so I will copy this address. And so it's already given me code, as you see, but I will tell it, here is the webhook that comes from make.com. Now what I already know, you see, it's giving me functions. A function is just something that performs a task. In this case, the ChatGPT gives me a function that's called onEdit. So this means basically whenever an edit is made in any of the cells, it will trigger the function. And in this case, it will check if the edit was in column A, right? But what I found is this onEdit function, which is natively built in, doesn't work well with webhooks from make.com. So this is something, as a beginner, you wouldn't know, but I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to tell this to ChatGPT to do the workaround that I have found, which is also very simple. The reality is the onEdit function does not work with make webhooks. It gives me authentication errors. So what I need you to do instead is create a function where I can set up a manual trigger whenever, and this So, and then I set up a manual trigger for that is called on edit. But the function needs to be manually, and I will set up the trigger manually. Do you understand what I mean? So please provide me with the updated code. The webhook is still listening, and we're going to give it data soon. So after this update, now it will basically copy this. Now we'll paste it in here, and I will click save. Now I will run it once because sometimes it's required to give the script permissions to perform tasks on your Google account. As you see here, authorization required. And here you click on review permissions. You select your Google account. Then you click on advanced, and then you go to YouTube Summarizer, and then you scroll to the bottom and click on allow. And now it has worked. And now we need to set up one more step, because we want to make sure that this function triggers whenever there's an edit. Whenever I add a new URL, it should run it and send the video ID to this webhook here. And here I need to go to triggers. There I can set up basically a condition when the function should run. So I can select the function. This is the function. And the only thing I need to change here is this. So this is so the function should be triggered when there was an edit in the sheet. So I select this, click on save. And once this is done, okay, I need to do the authorization process again. Sometimes when you make changes to your app script code, you need to process it again because you need to give it more permissions. Now, okay. And the trigger that is set up is now appearing here. Good. So now I can go in there and I make sure, okay, the webhook, okay, it was already successfully determined. And I click on OK, and I click on save, and now I can click on run once. And now, when I enter this again, it should now send the video ID from this URL to my webhook. As you see here, yes, it got the video ID. And it's the same. So this process works. So now we can move on to the next step. And the next step is, okay, now I want to get from the video ID, I want to get the video title. So I will just ask ChatGPT, how do I do that, right? What do I need to set up? I will just tell it what I need. Okay, this process works. Now I want in column B, the title of the YouTube video that I just put the URL in column A. I want that the video ID that is sent to the webhook in make is processed in a way that it gets me the title of the video from the video ID. Tell me exactly what module I need to add after my webhook module in make.com, and what do I need to set up to get that video ID, to get the video title from the video ID. Tell me the exact steps as if I were a total beginner. And then I will be walked through the exact steps. So you see, I need an HTTP module called make a request. A module is just an element like this. It's just to adding another tool. So here it's called HTTP make a request. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to fill out any of this, this is totally fine because I'm told what I need to do. Okay, so I need to add this in the URL. Okay, let's copy that. And now here is a placeholder, your API key. Okay, what does it mean by that? Now, okay, I need to get the YouTube data API key. Okay, and it tells me here where to get it. So I need to go to Google Cloud Console. Okay, if you don't know what this is, just Google it, click on that, and then you just sign in with your Google account, and it's also, it has a free plan, you can use it for free. And once you've signed in, you go to console, and there you need to follow the steps. It says, okay, create a new project. Good. Let's go in there. I need to click on here, and then I click and you create a new project. Okay, I will just give it the same name, YouTube Summarizer, doesn't really matter. And then a new project is created. Okay, what is my next step? Go to the API library and search for YouTube Data API v3. Okay, let's do this. The project was loaded, and I can tell you The library is here in the navigation menu under APIs and services, library. And now we need to select the project from the dropdown we just created. So that's one. And then we, in this API library, we type this in. And then we have YouTube Data API. Let's click on it. What do we need to do? We need to click on enable. Okay, let's click on enable. Now this can take a few seconds to be processed. Now what we need to do next, then we need to go to APIs and services and credentials. Okay. There's also credential is already here, so I click on create credentials. This is where I will get the API key. Okay, let's click retry. And what do I need to do next? I need to copy the generated API key. Okay, here I need to click on public data, click next. Then I need to replace the API key in the HTTP module. Okay, it means this one with my actual API key. Okay, and that's it. Here's the API key. Let's copy it. Let's paste it in here. We don't need to do anything else. Let's click save. And now let's test. Does it work? Does it get my title? So I click again on run once, wait for new data. I just re-enter the video URL. And let's see if it catches. It gets the webhook, gets the video ID, and you see it also gets some other information. Here it gets the data. It's a little bit messed up because what we need to select is, we need to select past response. You see, this automatically converts JSON data format, which is this strange data here, which is symbols and stuff, and it cleans it up into normal text. So let's click save, and then let's run it again so we can get a clear sense. Okay, it's unsaved. Let's click again. Click save. Let's run it again. Wait for new data. And re-enter it. And then we want to see, okay, can we find the title of this YouTube video? What should the title be? The title should be this, 100x the social media using this AI-powered automation. Okay, let's see if we got that. And here you see this is basically the output. Okay, so this is like basically the YouTube data API that we just created, gets the information from YouTube about this video. And then it gives us this data from this video. And we find it under items. And here you see it gives us the publishing date, and here's the title. You see it's the same title, so this is perfect. And we can later, we will set up another module here, which saves all the information from the video that we get here back into our sheet, and it saves it in these columns. But before we continue, we want to do the next thing. So next we want to get the thumbnail URL, and then views, subscribers, and channel name and publishing date. Now in this output, let's see what we already have of that. Let's go back to items. So what do we have? Okay, we already have the publishing date, good. We have the title. We already have the thumbnail, which is good. But what we don't have is the statistics, like we don't yet have the views and the subscribers and the channel name. And so before we continue, what I will actually already set up the Google Sheets module called update a row. And now here you need to sign up with your Google account that this is connected to, where this Google Sheet is. So you just hover over your icon here and it will tell you what Google Sheet you're logged into. And then you just here, you click on add, you complete the sign up process, and then the new Google connection will be added. And then you can select it from the drop down. Okay, it's not there yet, so let's sign in with Google. I will sign up with my same account. Continue, allow. And then I select search from all, and then I need to get the sheet ID, which I find here in this area here. And I will save that here. And now it should load the sheet name. I need to unselect map, and then I select sheet 1, yes. And then the row number. Okay, I don't see the row number. So this is important because this needs to be sent as well from from the initial information because it needs to know, okay, this row needs to be processed, so I need to update the code. So I get back to my code and I will tell ChatGPT, please make sure that also the row number is sent in which I added the YouTube URL. Please adjust the following code accordingly to also send the row number of the video URL that was just added to the webhook. And then it will adjust that for me. And then I will just replace it with that code. We can close that. It's already finished, so copy that, save it. And now let's see if it gives me the row number. Let's go back. Let's unlink this. Let's run it, wait for new data, and let's see if it also sends the row number. So in this case, it should be row number 2 that is sent. And you say, yes, row number 2, and now you can connect it again. And now I can add the row number. Okay, I think I need to delete it again, add it again. It needs to be update row, and I select this one, search from all, enter this again, the sheet ID, paste it in here. Now I should see the row number. Let's unselect that. Yes, the row number is important. And there you see it already. This is already the same naming as these columns have. And that's really important. Now I can map that. Basically here I can say, okay, the YouTube title should be inserted. And the title is gotten from here, items, snippet. And here you see the title. I've just selected. The thumbnail URL is here, thumbnails. There are different resolutions. I will just, let's pick the standard one. Thumbnail displays, we don't need this for now. Subscribers and views is not there, but the publishing date. I also found this here. And yeah, and the other things, this and this comes from a different module that we need to set up here. So now we'll just tell it, okay, now I want also view count, subscriber count, and the channeling. Okay, this works. Now I also need to insert or to get the view count and the subscriber count and the channel name from the YouTube video ID. What modules do I need to set up in make.com? And then it will walk me through the process. So YouTube Data API, this is where what I need. Let's see. Now I'm a little bit confused by it, so I will tell it again. Only give me the module that gives me the view count and subscriber count and channel ID. Do not change anything about my existing setup. Only tell me what new modules to add to get this information. So I need another HTTP module. So I will unlink this for now. I will just duplicate this. And then let's see what I need to change about this. I need to okay, it says snippet empty, get channel details. Okay, so it tells me here. Okay, it tells me I need to add this. Good. Let's just add this here. Here I need my API key. Let's use this one. I think that was all. Good. Put my API key here. And then this should give me a subscriber count. Let's just see first if it works. Let's run it. And it should give me the view count. Insert it again. Now it also works if I insert it in any other row, so it doesn't matter. Okay. We see here, what did it get me? items. Yes, it gets me the view count of the video. This is what I wanted. And yeah, that's all I really need. I also need to select. Okay, good. So this gets me the view count. So I can already connect this to the view count here. Views, items, statistics. This is the view count. Now, the next I need the information about the channel subscriber count and channel name. So where do I get this? This is the next step. I think this was this one. Get subscriber count and the channel ID from the previous module. Okay. So I need to set up another module. Let's duplicate this again, clone it. Let's add it here. And now I need to copy this part. Let's also first save this for now. Let's just save it here for now. And then I need this here. Here we need the channel ID. Here comes the API key. So the channel ID comes here. The channel ID, I think it should be found in this, either in this module here. Under snippet, channel ID, yes. Let's delete this again. I think this should be all. Okay, there's only, after API keys, only this thing. Okay, so that's it. Just make sure this copy the exact code. And this should be it. Save it, unlink it for now. And let's run it again. Repeat this process to trigger the webhook and get the information. Okay, now there was, okay, the API key wasn't correct. Maybe I didn't. So let's do it again from scratch. So let's copy this exactly as it is and replace the API key from this that I get from here. So put it in here. And then here, the channel ID, again, it was found under here, snippet, channel ID, and I think now it should work. Let's try again, save. Okay, I have to run it first. Now, yes, you see now it worked. And now it should get me also the channel name, now the view count of the channel. So I can connect it again now. And then I can get the subscriber count. It should come from this subscriber count. And now we need the channel name. I think this is maybe found. Is it on the snippet? Yes, here it is. And now I have all this data basically. And as you will see, now this information will be saved back to the Google Sheet and then it will appear here. So let's test that. Let's activate this, wait for new data. Let's enter it again. Let's try this row. And then you see it's running and it's saving all the information. Now I need to format this a little bit. Let's do wrapping. Let's also center this here. And you see it gets me all the information I need. So the only thing I would now change is, okay, I want the thumbnail to be displayed in column D. So that's what I want. And the rest is already perfect as it is. So that's what I need next. The thumbnail display. So I will just tell it. I will give it this code. Okay, it works. Now after the thumbnail is added from make.com, I want that it is So the thumbnail URL is added in column C. And then once after this is added, it should you should insert the actual image in column D of the same row, but only of the URL from the thumbnail that was just added. Let's click submit. So what I already know is that this onEdit, which is normally triggered when you edit a cell, or like as you see when I add a manual URL or whatever, it is noticed by this function, and it will perform the action. In this case, it should insert the image in here. But since the URL comes from make.com, is added from make.com in the cell, it doesn't trigger the editing process. So I will tell this to ChatGPT. The onEdit function doesn't work because the URL from the thumbnail comes directly from make, and it doesn't trigger the editing process. So what you need to give me instead is a manual function that inserts the image in that row of column D. It also increases the size of the row to like 100 pixels by 100 pixels. And then I will set it up with a manual trigger that watches on change. I'll explain to you in a few seconds what I told it, because this is something I found from experience that works. So let's select this here. Now I don't need this part, because here what I just deleted, it's called onOpen. This means it adds me a menu to the top where I can trigger a function from a custom menu, but I don't want that. So I don't need this part. This is okay, you can delete, it doesn't mess up the function. So now I have this. I will save it. Let's see. And then what could happen? I need to trigger it manually. Let's just run it. That I will need to complete some authorization process. No, I don't. Okay, it works. Now I set up a trigger for this function, because I wanted to start inserting the image when, okay, now I need to click on allow access. You see there's some, because of the new function I added, sometimes this happens. Click OK. And now you see it was already added. Okay, so I click just on change, click save. On change means it watches any change, even if it's not a manual edit, it watches the change. So a change is if there is a URL added in this, it is a change, and it will recognize that. So now it's saved, and now it should actually work. So let's try a different video. Let's pick this, for example. Let's put in the link, and let's see if it works. But first, I need to start this again. Later, we will set it to run immediately after data arrives. I can just tell you this right away. Let's just do it right away, that you see that it's going to run automatically in the background. So now this is switched to on, and now once I click enter, it should run automatically and give me all the information I want. If it's working correctly, as you see, yes. Now we're waiting for the image. Is it coming or is it not? And I don't see it's coming. I don't know why. So let's investigate. Let's go to executions and see if the function was triggered. Insert thumbnail was triggered. Okay, now it's running. Okay, there's some mistake because this onEdit manual trigger keeps running, but it doesn't seem to end. So let's go back to, sometimes you have errors, this is normal. Then you just tell ChatGPT to fix it. I see there was an error, so I will go here. Queue is full. Okay. There's some sort of infinite loop. I will just tell it. The following function is triggering infinitely and constantly every second, and it causes this quota limit issue. So it looks like there is some error in your function, because I only set it up so it should only run once, right? And it keeps running continuously, and it should only run once for the URL that I just added in column A. Do you understand why it keeps running and not stopping? So let's see if we can fix it. Okay, it says me it needs to store status, check. Okay, but what if I delete and add an URL? So I don't have a list of URLs I add. So sometimes I remove an URL and add it again. And add it again, even if it was already processed, it needs to be processed again. Can you give me a function that only runs once for the cell, for the row that was just edited? Can you make a check so that this is made sure without this status identification? I will give it the code again. So let's see if this now works. Let's save it back. Let's click save. Play. And let's try again. Let's force stopping. Let's reload it. Now it should. Let's see if we can trigger it again without causing this error of making it run constantly. Let's go to execution. Yes, and now you see it ran once, but it looks like this isn't activated somehow. So I need to go back. Let's go back to my scenarios. Let's actually rename this tool. Let's go in there, click on run once, click on wait for new data. Okay, now I have exceeded limits. So it looks like I have to wait for a certain period. Now what I will actually do, I will export this blueprint, and then I will log into my other Make account. And where I don't have this quota limit, you can still continue with a free account. So let's do that. And then I go to create a new scenario, and I can import that blueprint. You could also just sign up with a new free account for a different email address. And then the only thing I need to add is the new webhook. Let's click save again, copy that. Now I need to go in here, replace it with the new webhook. Clicks OK. Here I need to add the sheet ID. I don't know if it's still saved. Oh, I need to select my account. the sheet, which is this. Okay, this works. Let's just reload it again. Okay, I just need to trigger it once. Click save. Okay, I need to trigger this webhook first. Let's do this. Let's see if it's triggered. Okay, let's go back to executions. Okay, it says it has failed. There's no scenario listening. Okay, maybe it hasn't saved the right webhook. Let's copy the address again. You see sometimes there are these errors. Oh, this is a normal process of building such tools from scratch. And that's what I went through. Let's trigger it manually first. Okay, let's go back here again. Okay, no, it should normally. Oh, I need to click on redetermining data structure. Okay, small mistake on my side. That was the error. So let's, now it should work. Okay, now it has worked. And now this information, now we can run it. And let's add this again. And now it should get the information from the video and save it back. Yes. And now it hopefully doesn't trigger it continuously in a loop. Okay, we see it just failed once. No, also failed. Oh, I don't know why it says error. But it doesn't really matter because everything I wanted has worked except for the image. So I will ignore that error for now. I will go back to my editor and I will go back to this insert thumbnail function and I will say it doesn't run. The function that is supposed to insert the image from the thumbnail is not triggering, is not running. When I add a new, so I'm going to describe it to you again, my process. I add a YouTube video URL in a row in column A. Then the video ID is sent to my make automation that gets me all the information from the video, including the YouTube URL, which is saved in column D. I've set up, and now in column C. The YouTube URL is in column C of the thumbnail. And now you need to insert the image into column D. Now I've set up this function you gave me with a manual trigger on change, but it still doesn't process this thumbnail. I don't know what the error is, what the issue is. So maybe you need to rework the function so it works exactly as I told you. And again, it should not loop through all rows, but only insert the YouTube thumbnail in the same row in which I just placed the URL. Maybe this can fix it. Sheet 1, okay, good. So let's try. Let's save it. Now let's switch this to run again. And then let's save this here and see if it gets me the image now. Let's see. Let's go to executions. Still gives me failed. I don't know why. But I don't see the trigger is running. But I see an error. It gets a lot of errors. So, but this is not the one I want. Oh, okay. And now I understand. I picked the wrong one. Insert thumbnail image. That's what I want. And now I understand why I got the looping error, because it was constantly sending requests to the webhook. This is what I need. So That was a small mistake I made. It's good that I make it. So always select the proper function. I want to, I want this on change monitoring. So whenever there's the YouTube URL added, so when there's a change in any of the cells of my sheet, it should check, okay, is the YouTube URL added? And then insert the image here. Now I think it should work. Okay, and that's why I also got the errors. So now let's try again. One more time, and now I think it will work. So let's save that. Let's delete this stuff. I can delete all of that. Let's edit. Okay, now I see the image of the thumbnail is still not displayed. So let's go back to my executions. Okay, I see this has failed. And now I give it just this. I give ChatGPT just this error log. This function gave me the following error. Please fix it and give me the updated code. So let's see if I can fix it. Let's go back. Replace the function. Save it. Let's run it manually, but I think now it has worked. So the functionality works. The only problem is the trigger. So let's try again. I'm going to switch this on. I will remove that, delete all that, try it again. So yes, it gets me that. I can already go to my executions and see it's still failing. It was this one here. Even with the updated code, I'm still getting the error. Please, before you try to solve it again, try to understand why it occurs. Again, the YouTube URL comes from the video URL, no, the thumbnail URL comes from make.com automation, is inserted from this automation back into the Google Sheet in column C. And as soon as this happens, you need to insert the image of the thumbnail in column D. And I have set it up as a manual trigger that watches on change. But it should only process the row. I don't know how to explain it to you. Do you understand my concept? So maybe it still doesn't understand my setup process. So let's see if this works better. Sometimes it's just a way of going back and forth because that's the normal process of building tools like this. And I wanted to show you the raw version of it, how it actually works and what it requires. So let's try again. Insert thumbnail images. Let's see if it's still the same function. I need to go to triggers. Yes. Then I go back. Let's click on run and use this again. So I know this process can be done because I've done it several times. So it gets me video title, this and this. It still doesn't show it. So I don't know why it keeps failing. Okay, now it's still running. That's a good sign. Oh, now it works. You see, we managed to do it. That's really good. So now it works. Good. So now we've got this information from our YouTube video. And now what we want to have next is we need to set up a process that allows us to summarize the video. Then we click a checkbox and it should create a summary here. So what do we need to do? We will ask ChatGPT. Okay, now this process works. Now I need in column I. So what I first want is that whenever I add a new YouTube URL in column A, it should automatically insert a checkbox in column I. Can you update my code for that process? I will give it my function again. And it should just update it because I don't know how to do this manually. Just give it from here to here. This code, this is only the part that I need to be changed. So then I will use the updated code. The only change is it will insert a checkbox in column I when I add a new URL. So click OK. Let's see if it works. Let's pick a different video. This one. Let's run it. Let's see. It should add a checkbox. Okay, it's not doing anything. It could be on edit manual trigger. Maybe I need to run it again. No. Oh, it did change. Did it change the webhook? No, it should not have. I don't know why it doesn't trigger anymore. Okay, now it says it failed. What did you change about the code that now gives me the error? I told you, you should only add a simple function that adds a checkbox in column I. Why do I get this error? Please, you are not allowed to change the original function, except to insert the checkbox. Please fix it. So let's see if it works now. Let's go back, replace that code, click save, try again. This is still running good. Okay, it's still no longer working, so I will go back to my original code. I will just select the original code again and see if this still works. So save. Does this still work? Yes. You see this now works, but I don't know why it cannot add a checkbox. I know it can. I'm still getting the same error. It looks like your way to add the checkbox has a fundamental flaw. Please, whenever I use your function that you just gave me with the insert checkbox option, it no longer works. So please try another way. I know you can do it, but I still get this error. I don't know why. Okay, I shouldn't. I actually wanted this function so that it uses this. I will try it one more time. And if it still can't add the checkbox, I will just leave this out for a while. So let's click on send. And save it. Let's run it again. let's take the same video. Yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't work with that. So, but I have another idea how this could work. Okay, let's go back to my executions. Okay, it says, okay, this way failed. Okay, now this is not a function. Okay, good. And now I keep getting this error. Column I, no. Add a checkbox in column I have the same row, good. Let's try again. And okay, I only need to, okay, let's copy this. Send webhook, extract data, so I need to replace the entire code from that. Let's try run again. Okay, it doesn't trigger the authorization process, good. Now, okay, it's already running, good. Let's try this again. Okay, it's still not working. But I know it works, but it keeps failing me. I'm not getting any. Just feed it back into that. So let's see. Okay, I tried again. Otherwise, I have another idea to maybe this could work. Still running, good. Directly go to executions. Okay, now it seems to have worked. Now I see there's a checkbox. Perfect. Sometimes it takes a little bit back and forth to resolve certain errors. That's part of the developing process. That's why it's called developing. You're constantly going back and forth, solving problems. Now we've solved it. Now we have the basis for our next step, which I will tell to ChatGPT. Okay, now it works. And what I want now, whenever I click the checkbox that I've just added, I want that it gets the basically I want a process setting up in make.com to get the transcript of a video and summarize it using Gemini.2AI. 2.0, you know, the Google's AI, Gemini. And I think this should also be in make.com. So for some reason, I need to send the video ID to, perhaps I need to set up a second make automation process, right? And so it needs to be triggered when I select the checkbox, it needs to send it to another automation. And then it needs to send a video ID to the automation, and from the video ID get the transcript from the video. Maybe I use something from Rapid API. I know a service called Video Summarizer GPT AI that I can use, and then after that I have a module that uses that transcript and summarizes it with Google's AI Gemini. Tell me exactly how to set this up, including all the app script code I need and the modules I need to set up in make.com. Now we will walk through the process. So first, it tells me to modify the function. Okay, now I need a function that monitors, but I don't want any of the current code to be, okay, so I will stop it. I don't want any of the current code to be changed. So for this new function, whenever I select a checkbox, it should send the video ID to another automation. And I need a manual function where I set up a manual trigger that works on edit, and it checks, okay, was a checkbox in column A checked? And it only processes the video ID from the row in which the checkbox was just checked, not any other, so it doesn't loop through all rows. So now let's see what it gives me as a code. So I have a new function now, which is what I want. I don't want to use my current function, and then, so I also need to create a new scenario. So I go back, this is good. This already works, so I will call it video summarizer part 1. Let's go back, save changes. Now I will go back to my scenarios. Okay, where do I have that? My YouTube summarizer here. Want to make sure to switch it to on. Delete all data. Delete. Now I create a new scenario. Again with a webhook, custom webhook. Just click on add, save. Now it's listening. Now I need to add the code that I got from ChatGPT. This one, go back to my app script editor. I will add it here, a little bit of space. And then I need to replace it with my webhook. Copy the address, paste it in here, paste that, and then it works. And now what I need to do, I need to set up another trigger, but it will also tell me that, as you see here, add the script, set up a trigger for this checkbox. So the triggers are here. Then it tells me, okay, so event source from spreadsheet, event type on edit. So this is the on checkbox edit from spreadsheet, and here must be on edit. Save. Test the functionality, add a YouTuber with an A, ensure checkbox is in column I of the same row. Okay, and now test it. So now this webhook is already listening, so it's waiting for data. Click on that and let's see if it gets the data. Yes, good. And now let's activate it again and see if it gets the video ID, the correct data we need to create to get the transcript and create the summary. Okay, it sent the video URL. So there's a little bit of a mistake. We need the video ID, not the entire URL. I just tell it. Yes, the process works, but it sends the URL and not just, but I only needed to send the video ID that it needs to extract from the URL. Here's an example URL. So again, let's tell ChatGPT to fix it. It will give me an updated version of my new function here. Okay, I should have added it below that part. It doesn't matter where you add the function, I just do it for organization purposes. So I leave spaces out between each new block that performs a new action for me. So that's the new one. Let's try again. Select it, start. Now let's see if it sends me the video ID, which is this part here. Okay. Let's try again. Let's check why it doesn't send it again. Okay, on checkbox edit, it was triggered. see. I don't see any issue. And I don't know why, so I don't see that the webhook doesn't receive any information anymore. I don't know why, because I didn't change anything. Maybe need to redo it again. I don't know what the issue is because I don't see any error in the log. As you see, when I select it, normally it should send the information to the webhook, but it doesn't. Perhaps, I think I know perhaps why. Because it doesn't have the webhook in there. So, okay, so I need to stop that. Get the address again, because it didn't. So of course it needs to have the webhook, otherwise it doesn't work. So now let's try again. See if it gets me the video ID now. Video ID R and 4. Yes, perfect. Now let's move to the next step. What do I need to set up in make.com to get the transcript? So this is video summarizer, part 2. What do I need to do next? Checkbox is checked. I need an HTTP module. Tell me specifically what modules I need to set up in make.com. Exactly. Everything I need to set this up. Only give me the part about make.com. So let's see, what module do I need next? I already have the webhook. So HTTP module, make a request, good. We already know that. GPT, make a request. So, and what do we need to put in there? So I already know that. You need to go to rapidapi.com. There you can get different APIs. And APIs, again, just a way for the softwares to talk to each other. So this API basically it allows you to get the transcript of any YouTube video and you can use it for free. So you go to rapidapi.com, you set up a free account, and then you go to YouTube Video Summarizer GPT AI. I found this is the cheapest, whereas it's a free version to get transcripts from YouTube videos based on video ID. And then you click on sign up, or it says something to subscribe to a plan, but then you select the free plan. As you see here, it's for $0. You can have 5,000 transcripts per month for free that you can get, and then you click on create summary here on the left part, and then I give this code to ChatGPT. So let's first set up the module that gives me the transcript. This is what I have found in this API from Rapid API. Perhaps you can tell me exactly how to use this in my automation, where to put this and what to put there. So here it gives me the code. This needs to be put in the URL section. Good. And then what else do I need to do? I need to set up a header. Okay, header is here. What do I need to put in this field? I need to put in host. Then I need to put this in here. And then I need to add another header. And this is a Rapid API key. Okay. And then I need to add this key here. And that's it. Let's see if it works. Let's set it to run. Wait for new data. Let's go here. Trigger this again. Now it's already working. Let's see. Here in the data, it gets me the transcript. Perfect. Now this is still like messed up, called JSON code. Now I don't need it to be cleaned up because my next module is a module that summarizes that for me. And the AI model I need for that is a free model you can use for free. It's called, you find it under Google AI Studio. So you go aistudio.google.com, you sign up for a free account, and then you click on Get AI API key, and then you click on Create a key. So these are like the projects I have set up in Google Cloud Console, where we just got my YouTube API. So I can just, here I can create a key. And then I can copy that. Now I shouldn't share this with you, so I will, that's why I've blurred this out. But you copy the code, and what do I do with it, right? So, okay, now I have now what do I do next to turn the YouTube transcript into a summary? What is the next module I need to set up in my automation? Remember, I want to use Gemini 2.0 from Google. Because this is you can use this API, this AI, artificial intelligence service for free to summarize or to perform actions. You don't have to pay for anything. So let's see what it tells me. So, okay, here it tells me I don't really need the endpoint. So because what I know is there's a module already there from Google. So sure, you can follow the same process, right? This tells you set up another HTTP make request, but I don't need this. So here I can just select Google Gemini AI and click create completion. And then I can just, you can click on add a connection, and this is where you put the API key in here, and then I click on save. Then here there are other models I can use. And I know the free version is the 1.5 latest Flash, perhaps. I'm not so sure if it's the best one, but I know this is one that works. So here you can see the pricing of using this model. Let's switch this to English so you understand it. You see the latest model, this is the fastest model. Okay, and this is free of charge, 1.5 Flash. Even that is also. So I don't know which is the smallest for lower intelligence. So it looks like this is the best model you can get for free here. So sure, you can also use paid models, but I wanted to show you how to do it for free. So, okay, so we need to Gemini Flash. This is the free model. This is good. Now here we need to add our prompt, like it should summarize the, here we select text. Now we put in text. This is the prompt. I've already prepared this summary prompt here. It should just summarize the key points of the YouTube videos. Put it in here. And then so let's format it a little bit so you understand how it works, what it should do. So it should summarize the key points of the YouTube video transcript. Then it should provide me with the key lessons from this video, including examples taken from the transcript. It must be so detailed so that anyone who doesn't watch the video doesn't miss anything important. Also provide 3 action steps, implement the key learnings from the video. And then here comes the transcript. And the transcript comes from this module we just used, which is data. Let's just use this part. So, and then obviously I can already set this up. I want this to be saved back to my Google Sheet. Update row. Now I need my sheet again. The sheet. Here you need to select again the account where this Google Sheet is in. From all, search for the sheet ID. Now the sheet, unmap this, and you need to sheet 1, row number. Yes, it's already sent from the webhook, good. And the only thing I need here is the summary. And this is basically the result here. Let's click OK. And now let's see if it works. So let's pick another video from my channel to do this summary with. For example, this one. Copy the link, put it in here. Now the other automation is already active, so it's already running. So it should give me everything from the video. As you see, it works. It gives me the thumbnail. And now, when I click here, I will also fix this. So you key on here, view and freeze and first row, so that I have the columns here always. I will also make this smaller. You see it's already working. So my AI is already generating the summary. This can take a few seconds. And it's done, and it has done it. So I will apply some formatting here, text wrapping, and then I have my summary. So here, the most important quotes, underlining the key points from the video, the key lessons from the video, all structured, and 3 action steps. Now this is a quite detailed summary, but that's good, right? You don't miss anything of the video. So now our Google Sheet works. It does what it should do. So the final part for me to do is click Save, go back, switch it to on, delete all data, and now we have those 2 scenarios, the YouTube Summarizer Part 1. Where do we have it? YouTube Summarizer, where is it? Here, 1 and Part 2. And we can use it on the free plan of Make, at least as long as we stay below. You see, if we stay below 1,000 operations per month, it's free. You see 1,000 operations, and how many operations do we have here? Operation is basically a task performed. Let's see, before we end this, how much would this cost us? 1 task, so this is 5 operations is 1. So for 1 video we add, and it gets the details, is 1 operation. And this is for part 1. For part 2, to summarize a video, how many operations is it? Is 4. So it costs us a total of 9 operations to process 1 video, including the summary. So 9 operations, and we get 1,000 operations per month for free. This means 1,000 divided by 9. So we can process 111 videos per month on the free plan using only free tool. Google Sheet is free, AppScript is free, and yeah, this AI tool is also free, and the Make plan then is also free with 111 videos to summarize. If you want to see more videos like this and how I built these AI-powered tools without any coding skills, please like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos.